Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is a reading roundup. In my reading roundup videos, I just talk about the books that I've been reading recently. And this is the first one I've done since March Mystery Madness. And so you might be surprised to hear that these are all mysteries. But then again, if you know me or have been watching my channel for any length of time, you're probably not surprised by that at all. Now, these are all books that need to go back to the library, which is why I read these and not any of my own books or any other, maybe any other genre, because these are all overdue actually, and they need to go back to the library. Okay, so let's just dive right in. I read Night Watch by Stephen Kendrick. This is a historical mystery, and I believe I heard about this one from Tahlia Nerds Out. This is a long-lost adventure in which Sherlock Holmes meets Father Brown. So this one was pretty fun. It's set in, I think it's 1902. Let me just double check. I think yes, it's 1902. And Holmes and Watson get called via his brother Mycroft to a crime scene at a church where there is this secret conclave of religious leaders from around the world, and one of them has been murdered. So yeah, I mean, it's a good setup for a mystery. It's an older Sherlock Holmes and a younger Father Brown. Father Brown is quite young still in this one, and I did enjoy it, but I would have liked a little more Father Brown. We didn't really get a ton of him in here. I would have liked a little bit more, and sometimes the writing was a little, I don't know, like I don't know, I think it deserved better editing than it had, but it was an interesting concept for sure to have Sherlock Holmes work with Father Brown. So that, yeah, that alone made it an interesting read. And then continuing on with my Will Trent series, I read Criminal by Karin Slaughter. And this one, the two series have been mixed for a while now. And in this one, we get some great history, both of Will and his boss at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Amanda, her history as well. And because she was partnered with Evelyn Mitchell, we get some of Faith's mom's history as well. So that part was really, really interesting. It went back and forth between present day and the 70s, and the look at what it was like for women in the police force in the 70s was awful. I mean, it was good to read about, but yeah, it was not great. But again, another great one in the series. I really did enjoy this. This one, I thought that I was doing a reread of the entire series, but there was nothing in this one that was kind of causing any bells to ring, and according to Goodreads, I hadn't read it before, so it could be one that I missed out when I read the series the first time around. But yeah, I did really enjoy it, and getting a little bit of that social history of Georgia in the 70s was also very interesting. Hard to read, but very interesting. All right, and then I read The Case of the Missing Servant by Tarquin Hall. This is set in Delhi, modern day Delhi, and our main character is Vishpuri. I'm not entirely sure how to say his last name. He runs a private investigation agency, and he's been running it for years. So he's got investigators that work with him, as well as secretaries, and like it's a whole well-run organization. I really enjoyed this. It was the first in the series, so we were being introduced to all the characters and introduced to Delhi, where he lives and works, And it was really great. I really enjoyed it. I liked the main character, Vish. He was interesting. There were moments when he was like Sherlock Holmes, but he never actually liked to be referred to as being like Sherlock Holmes. So I thought that was funny. He gives nicknames for everybody. His undercover investigators, he calls them Tube Light, Flush, and Face Cream. And it so often that I forget what their actual names were, so I thought that was pretty funny. And so in this one, he gets asked to look for a servant who has gone missing from a lawyer's home. That lawyer questions are starting to be raised that the lawyer maybe did something to this servant, this girl. And so Vish is asked to look into it, to maybe find her. And it was a really interesting case. I really enjoyed this, and I have actually the next two in the series on my shelves, so I will be continuing with this series for sure. And then I read the third in the first edition's library series by Marty, Wingate. This is The Librarian Always Rings Twice. And I have to say, I think this one might actually be my favorite in the series so far. Some of the amateur sleuth things that happened in the first two books didn't happen in this one, so I liked it better. This is set in Bath, and our main character is, I've forgotten what her name is. Haley. And she is the curator of the first edition's library. And it's a library of first editions of Golden Age mysteries, specifically written by women. And I mean, how can I not love that? Agatha Christie, Dorothy L. Sayers, Nia Marsh. I mean, come on, right? Marjorie Allingham. I mean, this is a job I would totally want. She lives in a flat in the same building where this library is. I mean, this just sounds amazing, right? Anyway, so in this one, let's see. Someone shows up at the museum or at the library claiming to be the grandson of Lady Georgiana Fowling, who created this library. And that starts a whole train of events. And so, like I said, I think this is my favorite of the series, and I will definitely be continuing on. Great location. The characters in this one were way less annoying than they were in the first two. Like to the point where I almost didn't pick this one up because I was like, is this one that I really want? This is definitely in the cozy genre of mysteries. But yeah, I really like that it's set in Bath, and I love the conceit for the series that it's set in this first edition's library. That's just amazing to me. All right, and then I read This Is What Happened by Mick Herron. I can't say too much about this book or else I'm going to spoil things, but, so I'm just going to read the synopsis. 26-year-old Maggie Barnes is someone you would never look at twice, living alone in a month-to-month sublet in the huge city of London, with no family but an estranged sister, no boyfriend or partner, and not much in the way of friends. Maggie is just the kind of person who could vanish from the face of the earth without anyone taking notice. Or just the kind of person MI5 needs to infiltrate the establishment and thwart an international plot that puts all of Britain at risk. Okay, I enjoyed this, I think. This one had me thinking at the end. I was like, did I like that or not? It was very clever. The characters annoyed me though. The main character especially made decisions that I just don't think I would make myself. And there were a number of things that I figured out on my own. So yeah, I think I would recommend it. Go for it and see what you think if this sounds like something that interests you. Yeah, it was different. I'm still not entirely sure. I'm still not entirely sure what I think of that one. And then I read Date with Danger by Julia Chapman. This is the latest for me in this series. 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th one in the Dale's Detective Agency series. So this is set in Yorkshire, in the Yorkshire Dales. And I don't want to say too much because this is a series that you definitely need to read in order. But in this one, Samson and Delilah are asked to look into an incident that happens at a livestock auction mart. And again, that sets in train a series of situations. There's also a continuing on of an ongoing plot line that's run through the entire series. Again, I just love this series. I love the setting. I love the characters. The writing is good. The mysteries are interesting. And the ongoing plot line is also very interesting to try and figure out where it's going to land, how it's going to end. Yeah, so I can't wait to read the next one in this series. So there you have it. That's what I've been reading recently. They're all in that mystery genre. And it's because I can't get enough. I love it. I do. I just love it. Okay, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books. And if your interest has been piqued by what I've said about any of them. And I will see you for another video soon. Bye.